Good morning. This is Tim Kanak with Perkins Roofing, and today we're going to talk about how to do an estimate on a commercial roof and what the differences are between commercial roofing estimates and residential. So let's get started, shall we? You can see I'm on a condo gravel roof right now. Access is very important with commercial roofs. This is only about 2.5 stories because of the mansard to get onto this roof. So it's pretty standard access. We don't really have to do anything special. And for this particular estimate, we're only looking at the flat roof. We are not looking at the mansard roof. If we were doing the mansard roof, that's going to take high reaches because it's a 20 on 12 slope, which I already measured the slope. That's a 20 on 12 slope. So that's going to mean you're going to have to roll all the way around the building with high reaches. But that's been done pretty recently. They did make a boo-boo, which we'll talk about in a second, as they always do with these stone-coated. But it's a stone-coated metal mansard roof. And they did it off of high reach or scaffold. That's the only way to do that. But up here, pretty standard. We can do our demo just with trash chutes, run a trash chute down the mansard to get rid of all of our debris, because this is all gravel, so it's all going to have to be scraped off. We have to scrape all this rock off and get rid of the rock first before we take the roof off of the deck. The first thing we're going to look at when we're doing a commercial flat roof estimate is we're going to look at what the deck is and what the roof is. So very easily on this one, you can see that this hatch is built straight onto a 1/2-inch plywood deck. I measured the deck. This is old 1/2-inch plywood. It is not 5/8 inch as code now requires. 1/2-inch plywood, grandfathered in, gravel roof straight to it. I don't even need to core test this one. Generally on a flat roof, I'm going to core test it, but because I can see the deck right here and I can see the bleed out from the old asphalt through the hatch, and just by checking inside of the attic here, I already know it's here. So I don't need to core test it, so I'm not going to put a hole in the roof. But generally, I would use my core tester and take a sample of the roof. Josh has a nice video on how to do that, and you can see how many layers there are. This is just a 1-layer gravel roof straight on top of this old 1/2-inch plywood. I already know that. Then they went up the walls here with modified bitumen, or what you would call a built-up roof instead of the gravel. So they went up the walls. You're going to measure the walls. That's one of the first things you're going to do. This is a 2-foot wall, because this roof, as it wraps up the wall, is going to have to come up, and then it's going to have to come out over the coping. You can see this is a custom coping cap that has a bend in it to match with the stone-coated metal mansard, that when they did the mansard, they installed this thing. So basically, you come up 2 feet. That's a 7-inch cap, and you're going to wrap over. So we're going to add 3 feet on these little walls here. Now, as you come down this roof here, I already measured these walls. They're coming up 4 feet. So we're coming up 4 feet right here on these walls. So we need to include the coming up the roof and the wrap back as a part of our square footage of the roofing system. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to count our penetrations. I'll just jump down right here. You can see our penetrations. We have 4 HVAC racks here with 4 split jack boxes here for all the AC conduits and all that stuff to go into. So that is going to be 5 penetrations for each one of these. That's 20 total. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to check the height of the ACs. You can see that these ACs are lifted 20 inches over the roof level, which is good. But if we're going to add slope to this roof, then we need to factor that in. We're going to have to see what our average height of our tapered insulation is going to be at these AC machines. We very possibly could bury these AC legs, and there is a code that requires, I believe it's 18 inches, that the HVAC machines need to be lifted off of the roof. So if we're going to add tapered insulation, it's going to bury these legs, and these are going to have to be installed onto new racks to meet current Florida building code. Something to keep in mind. Also, you see the stairs built out of wood. We're on the water. This thing should probably be fabricated out of stainless steel. You saw in our high-rise in Miami, and right now we're in West Palm Beach, but in Miami in our high-rise, we fabricated a large stair in stainless steel. This one is just regular wood. I don't think that meets current code, so we'll put it as a line item option in the event they want to do it, because I don't know if everybody else is including it, and I want to make sure our bid is apples to apples with other roofers, which is why we itemize certain things. On all of these penetrations, you can see right now there are pitch pans around these legs. That's the old way to do it. What we're going to do in our system, since we're doing a polyglass system, is we're going to be poly flashing these legs. If you look at some of my other polyglass videos, you'll see what that looks like, to liquid flash the legs with poly flash 1C. That's what we're going to be doing. Another thing, you can see these giant gooseneck vents. These gooseneck vents are all 12-inch gooseneck vents. What you want to do is you want to count these, because they're going to have to be fabricated to new. Now, we could always just reseal around these existing ones, but I would recommend replacing them with the roof. You also see these lead stacks. We're going to have to replace those with new lead stacks, so you're going to get a count on those too, which I've already done, and you're going to count the size of the vents. So you can measure, you see right here, this is a 4-inch vent. And you can see here, this is a 12-inch gooseneck. So that's why you bring your tape measure to measure and count all of these items, because these are all flashings and whatever that are going to change your price. You can also see I'm walking on top of these old crappy walk pads. Walk pads are a common accessory for commercial roofs to protect where HVAC workers are going to work, so they don't screw up your roof and put holes in your roof. So you can see that the walk pads actually lead from the hatch, down the stairs, and around the AC unit. So I'm going to be asking these homeowners if they want to install new walk pads and a new stairwell. They're going to have to put a new hatch in for code, because that's not a Miami-Dade rated hatch. They're going to want to put an aluminum one in. That's not aluminum, that is steel. You can see here also, this is something you have to worry about on commercial, is what is the size of the drip metal. This is a 5-inch drip metal. So we're looking at 5x5 drip metal, and that's in steel. You can see it's rusting. We're on the water. That should be aluminum. Since we're on the water, it should be aluminum 5x5. The other thing is, you can see that this is flush against the wall. There should be a wood nailer installed right here to space out the drip metal away from the wall, so that water, when it runs off, is not going to drip right down. It's going to come out from the wall. Now, one of the biggest problems when it comes to this roof in particular is that it's a gravel roof. These old gravel roofs are meant to have no slope. I've already tested the slope on the roof. There's a 0 slope, so there's no slope on this roof. And because there's no slope on this roof, the water's going to hold. These gravel roofs are meant to hold water. You can see this is a gravel stop metal. This is not a drip metal. This is gravel stop, so this raises about a 1/2 inch kick right here. Sometimes they're a 1/4 inch, sometimes they're 1/2 inch. We're going to replace it anyway to drip metal, so it doesn't really matter. But nobody does gravel roofs anymore. The goal per new Florida building code is to eliminate ponding water. On these commercial roofs, you're supposed to, by code, add a minimum 1/8 inch slope. This has 0 slope. If it's not pre-sloped, you're supposed to add slope to it. Now, I don't know how much money the building has, but tapered insulation is incredibly expensive. So I'm going to speak to the board to see what they want to do. But currently, this coal tar pitch roof, gravel roof, is built straight to the deck with 0 slope, and there is no pre-slope factor to this deck whatsoever. So when we reinstall our new roof, there is going to be ponding water everywhere. Now, this is a 3-building association, and they're roofing the one over there and this one, right now, flat roofs. The center one they've already done, and you can see from my drone video, they did not add tapered insulation because there's ponding water all over the place on that roof. So you can see in my video, they did not do that, and look at the results. Florida Building Code officials do not like that, because the reason the Surfside building fell, or one of the reasons they're citing, is from excess water on the roof. That's one of the big things. So now, ever since that building fell, even though I think there's something with a swimming pool, I'm not really too much into it anymore. You can look it up. But one of the things that they've changed after the Surfside collapse is that Inspectors are real big sticklers on adding slope to the roof to make sure that something like that does not ever happen again. So we've gone over the gravel roof. You want to core test it. We've gone over counting your penetrations. We've gone over accessories like walk pads, replacing a hatch with aluminum, steel metals versus aluminum metals on your drip metals, adding a wood nailer, size of the ACs, slope, if you're adding slope or not, and how that's going to change the price. And tapered insulation is incredibly expensive, which is why I don't recommend it for residential, but commercial, you should be adding that. Counting all of your things. And then here, the last thing we're going to look at is we have a pretty new stone-coated mansard that has been installed all around the building. We don't want to mess this up. So when we replace this coping cap here, we're going to have to be very careful with it. But you can see, I talk about it all the time. Look at the screws on the stone-coated roof. They did not install stone-coated screws. This roof system comes with stone-coated screws that are a lot more expensive than the regular galvanized ones, but they put the little galvanized ones in, and they're already rusting. Brilliant, right? So this building paid for a new metal mansard roof with stone-coated metal. They probably had old concrete tiles on here before and wanted it to look similar for HOA reasons. So they're not changing the aesthetic look of the building, but wanted the benefits of a metal roof. They're not going to get the benefits of the metal roof because they installed all the wrong screws on this whole building. And all that is going to be a problem and fail. So that's it for me here today. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can hit us if you need roofing at 561-559-ROOF for Palm Beach, St. Lucie, and Martin counties, or Miami-Dade for the Miami branch. Call 305-MIA-ROOF for Miami, Broward, and the Keys. Hit us for construction, impact windows, siding, concrete restoration, anything you might need, exterior renovation stuff at Perkins Construction at either of those numbers. And for franchise, if you're interested in your own roofing franchise, if you want to learn from me and make some money roofing and doing impact windows construction stuff, let me know. Franchise at perkinsroofing.net. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Reviews, follow. If you like my stuff, if you like my content, please leave me a Google review on Perkins Roofing Jupiter or Perkins Roofing Miami and just say, Tim's videos are great, 5 stars. Really appreciate that. Really easy for you to do. A way to reciprocate all of the free information I'm providing you in the content. Thanks very much. Peace out.